Welcome back to the show. So in this one we are going to be looking at AMC. AMC doing good things both after hours and obviously in the market hours. We can see that in the market trading time we went up by 4.61%. We went up by $2.57. So it was a win for the longs today, as it has been so many times. Again, the after hours has just started, but it is green so far. It probably may not remain green, but that doesn't even matter anymore because we already know what happens with after hours anyway. But today we are reflecting on the price of AMC, what this means for the company, what this means for the stock, and more importantly, what it means for us. And we have a big thing coming up tomorrow, potentially. We'll cover that at some point tonight, whether it be in this video or in a later one, because I know a lot of people are talking a lot about, the whole event which is going to happen tomorrow, which I'm sure you will be knowing about. But as always, guys, the same things do apply. I am not a financial advisor, so this is not financial advice. You probably already know that, but I do have to say it every single time. But yeah, if you can do subscribe to the channel, it would be appreciated. You can also join us on the Twitter, because on Twitter we basically post about AMC and other stocks pretty much on a daily basis, so it is a good place to get updates from the channel. On top of that, we do actually have a Patreon, so you can join us on Patreon. Link is in the description for that. It would be massively appreciated. But yes, let's jump in and look at AMC, starting off actually on the more simple charts. So when we look at some more simple charts, we can see this clear pattern with AMC today. Clearly it's green, and that is fantastic. Let's see how we opened up at 9:30. So 9:30, a strong open up at $53. It wasn't the best and it was quite low, but there we go. Then we dipped and dipped and dipped all the way down to about $51 range, mid $51. We can see up here we're at $51.78, so not too bad. Obviously have a drop, but it was still quite decent from where we were yesterday. And this got a lot of people scared, to be honest, because when we look at AMC from yesterday, we can see that from the highs of yesterday at about $60+, we have dropped by about $10. Now, most of us are not scared by these dips anymore, but rightly, some people will be if they haven't been here for too long. And that's completely fine, but obviously, subsequently, a lot of people may have sold their position or may have avoided getting into AMC. But one thing, in my opinion, that we have learned from AMC in the past is that when this one goes down, usually a lot of people load up on that dip and then the price rockets back up by a decent amount, and that is clearly what we are seeing today. So clearly this attempt of shorting the stock or bringing the stock down just has not worked today, as more and more people actually ended up buying the stock and the price actually went up as people saw this as a discount opportunity to buy. So whilst the past 5 days is apparently red, we are very close to coming into the green, which is fantastic. Again, $58 for today is not bad. If we can get this one going up a bit higher into tomorrow, I think that will be fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of people are pretty excited about tomorrow of the potential of automated margin calls coming in. I do understand why, don't get me wrong, but I think there are also some flaws in the argument. Now, my personal worry about this one, I don't think it's too big of a concern because I did explain this in yesterday's video. I might do so more in another video later. We'll see how we get on. But my main concern about this whole thing is people are wondering about the margin calls tomorrow. Will some funds get liquidated? Will some funds get margin called? And what will happen to those? Well, here's my thoughts on that. I think some funds may get margin call tomorrow. I think that's completely possible, but I don't think it will be as widespread as people do think it is. My reasoning for that, and I do hope that I am wrong, by the way, but my reasoning for that is because let's think about it, guys. If we know it, they probably know it as well. And we have seen the tricks that they have played in the past just to keep fighting this battle continuously. So, you know what? If we know that there's a margin call rule coming into tomorrow, they will probably know that as well. So chances are they have obviously freed up enough capital to continue trading, and that, whilst it may be good for them for tomorrow, that is not the battle over. So maybe if they don't get margin call tomorrow, it may sound like a bit of bad news, but let's face it, guys, they will do everything that they can to avoid having to sell their short positions, and it does make sense from their standpoint. But every single day they are losing money on AMC, they are losing money on other meme stocks, as they have called them, and I don't really like that term, but there we go. So they're losing money on these quote-unquote meme stocks every single day. Do you think that they can afford to do that for a very long time? I really just don't. I think that at some point they are going to get margin called, whether it be tomorrow, next day, 2 weeks from now. I don't think this can go on forever. I think, at some point the bigger ones will also get margin called if they do not decide to cover. That's just some of my personal thoughts on that whole event. But let's get back to the look at AMC today. So let's have a look at the 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average has brought itself back up today. It's at 25.22, which is good. We can see volume traded down here at 162.99 million, which is not bad. Again, as we discovered yesterday, from volumes down here of about 700 million to 500 million down here, it is pretty low, but it's not the worst. For example, on days like this, a few weeks ago, we saw volume figures of 59 million. So please do understand that we have definitely volumed up by a large amount, but obviously we are significantly down in volume from this period here where we're seeing a lot more volatility in price. So that's interesting. Again, I think it does also lead back to the fact that not a lot of people are selling the stock. So that's something to also think about, but there we go. So the RSI down here, you can see, is at 65. It's more towards the overbought side, but it actually is not there at the moment, which is completely fine in my opinion. Let's zoom into the one-day chart and see what the RSI for that is. So on the one-day chart, we can see the RSI figure is 75, and again, overbought would be roughly at 80. So we are coming very close to that overbought side, but that does not necessarily matter, as I have explained many times. And again, the moving average for today is at 57.32, if you were wondering. But yeah, going back to that RSI figure, I don't think it is as big of a deal as some people are making out. Yes, it is coming more towards the overbought side. We are not there yet, in my opinion. We are just below it. But like I said yesterday, with the technicals of these charts, with the fundamentals of these businesses, they don't necessarily always matter. Because with trading, yes, generally speaking, we do look at this with logic, but with AMC, with GME, but specifically with AMC in this situation, people don't necessarily look with logic, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it also means that some of the tactics that we use to look at the stocks don't always make sense when looking at these businesses. So there we go, that is the figures that we are seeing today, but I don't think it is too big of a deal. But going forwards into tomorrow, we could see a bit more growth. Again, people will be pushing up the stock price most likely, trying to probably get some of those funds margin called, but I'm not too sure if it will happen. But that's what we are seeing with the price of AMC so far. I'm very happy with how it has been moving. We are up again. So guess what, guys? Once more, the longs have won the battle. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon, guys. Goodbye.